What's up, y'all? Welcome back. It's your girl, Sultry Accessory. All right, so we gotta talk about this topic because I've been busy. Okay, Busy. Why? Okay. Okay, I've been busy behind the scenes, booked and busy behind the scenes. Okay, I'm working on so many different things. So, with that being said, and I'm coaching you guys, digital design coach, for those of you who want to start your small business, making money outside of your 9 to 5, because that is the goal of these days. Is not just making money in your 9 to 5, but also making money outside of your 9 to 5, starting your own brands, your personal brands, your local businesses, your online businesses, your website. Yes, I have the e-commerce builder website, even have the Align by Design, Find Your Voice, Show Up and Get Paid series here on my channel. It's a playlist for those of you who are looking to start YouTube, for those of you who are looking to start your e-commerce platform, aka your website where you sell things, e-commerce. You feel what I'm saying? So those of you who don't know how to make a website and start a website and things of that nature, I am your girl for that. I love branding, marketing. That's just that girl. Small business, trademarking, da da da. Okay, trademark, hint, hint, link, link. Anyway, your girl trademarked something over. Well, dang, I got official trademark. Dang, how many days ago was that? 4. I got official trademark 4 days ago. So anyway, we here with it. But anyway, this is the topic I want to talk about today. So earlier today, thank the Lord. I said, Lord, thank you for sending me this message. Okay, sometimes you just run into the right people and you hear the right message at the right time. And that's why it's also very good to align by design. Okay, that means go to the ways that God has originally ordained you to be. Okay, the way that He has originally designed you, not the way your friends want you to be, not the way your family wants you to be. You know what I'm saying? So align to your original you, right? Before the trauma, before the heartache and things of that nature. Who are you, right? And then even with your heartache and even with your pains or any grief that you've had within your life, a lot of times when you receive grief in your life, you actually become, now it depends on how you take it though. So when you hit a rock bottom in your life, that's usually when you'll come back like really resilient, and you'll have like a better say so and direction in your life. And that's what happened to me. I felt stagnant in life. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, I know I'm a solid human being, like, but like, why aren't things fitting the way that I need them to fit? So I had went into jobs, came out of jobs, went into jobs, came out of jobs. I'm like, man, why do I feel like I need to start my own thing? Like, why do I keep having this issue with these jobs? Like, I would do seasonal jobs and things of that nature. And then I just came to a place, I was like, man, I really need to create something. So I created my very own coloring book. It's in here, y'all. I created my very own coloring book called Align by Design, of course. And these are some of the coloring pages that come out of here. It is a affirmation coloring book for creative and entrepreneurial spirit. So I made this coloring book. God gave me a message. He said, create something of your own. In 2019, I also was watching Tony Gaskins, and then Tony Gaskins said, you want to create something that you can never get fired from. And so thus I created this Align by Design affirmations for creatives and entrepreneurial spirits coloring book, self-published coloring book. Okay. So with that being said, then I created the series that I'm telling y'all about. That is, if you want to start your YouTube channel, if you want to start your e-commerce, and I have the YouTube design critique. So we lay out your YouTube channel, make sure it makes sense. Make sure you have a journey for your YouTube channel, so you know what you're forever going to talk about on your channel, because you don't want to just be uploading anything. You know what I'm saying? And make sure it's on topic and with your folks and your target audience that you already came up with and things of that nature. And I made a 4 plan step, just a 4 plan step. So the things that I create, I do things in 4 or I do things in 3. Okay. So with that being said, it's a 4-step process. So what you're going to do is you're going to find your audience with the free template down below in my description box. Then we have the Find Your Why guidebook. And that's going to help you lay out what your messaging is going to be. How are you going to say it through whatever channels you want? If it's YouTube, if it's Instagram, whatever platform you want. And then we have the YouTube design critiques. Like I said, we lay out your YouTube, so you know that you take people on a journey, and so you know the journey that your business is going to take anyway, right? And then the 4th step is the e-commerce builder workshop, and that's where we'll lay out like what all needs to belong on your website so you don't forget anything on your website. And then there is a bonus, which is the YouTube confidence course, the Start Flowing Girl YouTube confidence course. I have that as well. And then it's really another bonus, especially for those who want to get trademarked and those who need a website domain name, those type of things. So if you're really trying to establish yourself and, get the ball rolling, I'm your girl for that. Okay, period. Okay, so let's talk about today's topic, y'all. Okay, so this morning I had woke up to this dude on TikTok. Y'all ever just scroll on TikTok and then you end up finding somebody, right? Okay. So this morning I was scrolling out, ended up finding this dude named Dwayne Mac, I think. I don't know. But anywho, he was talking about trust and holding companies and LLCs, and how he was talking about everybody thinks that like they're supposed to get an LLC and not and this thing called an S corp, and he's like, the S corp is not what you want. That's just a tax thing. That's not that's not an actual business structure. And he laid it out, and he told us his whole story and how. Oh my God, it was so crazy. Okay, I don't want to tell all of his business, but if you want to look him up, just look him up on TikTok. Put like Dwayne Mac on there, and then put like I don't know, trust or something. I don't know. Google it, but TikTok it. Google it on TikTok. Search it up. Okay, so he gave me this topic idea to come to y'all and talk about today. And I know it's Saturday and I usually don't upload on these days. I upload on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Lately, because I've been so busy behind the scenes, as y'all see, I'm talking really, really fast in this video, right? Because I got other stuff to do. But anyhow, y'all, I want to talk about how we're outgrowing people, we're outgrowing friends, and how you need to outgrow if you have not already. I don't know if you're Gen Z. This really goes to the Gen Z, and this even goes for the older adults. You have to get out of the mindset of popularity. Get out of the mindset of being around people who are popular. Get out of the mindset of people who are attractive. Get out of the mindset of these people that you put on a hierarchy. Because let me tell you something. I just learned about a month ago that people see people on a hierarchy based on their status, based on how they look, and based on what's popular. Get out of that, because I'm going to tell you that is going to hinder you. And you so focused on trends, that's going to hinder you. One thing that I noticed coming up is I don't know. I think I don't want to say I got an old soul, but let's just say I have a wise soul. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say I have a wise soul. So growing up, I never liked when people, okay, I'm going to give you 2 things that I noticed when I was growing up, right? High school. So I'm a graduate of the class of 2013. Okay, 2013. Okay. Represent for the 2013. Okay, yeah, I'm in the class of 2013. So anyway, what I was saying? Oh, one thing. This is 2 things that I noticed. I never liked it bandwagoning at people. I never liked that. When I was in high school, it was 2 things I observed. I never liked it bandwagoning at people, and I always was confused why all the girls will need their friend to come with them to go to the bathroom. And I remember it was this one girl, she was like, can you come to the bathroom with me? Girl, if you don't go to the girl, if you don't go to the bathroom, girl, I'm not your mama. I am not your cousin. I'm not your what I gotta go to the girl, get up and go to the bathroom. The hell. I'll get up and go to the bathroom. I ain't scared of nothing. Okay? Y'all be, I gotta have a friend with me. I gotta have a friend by me 24/7. I don't. Okay, so those were the two things that I observed in high school that I never liked and I never understood. And then I remember I was in high school and then people were like, "Oh, you think you're conceited?" Da da da. That was never the case, but okay. I think what it is that I grew up as an only child, right? And so those who are used to other people's company and feeling like you gotta have somebody with you or in your corner, or you gotta have support, or somebody gotta be backing you, somebody gotta be your sidekick, somebody gotta be your flying monkey. Like, I just don't roll like that. You feel what I'm saying? I don't need flying monkeys. I just don't roll like that. So I think it really has to do with me just being, an only child. I'm not an only child these days, but when I was growing up, I was the only child. Okay. So, and then a lot of people be like, oh, well, you come off as stuck up, or you come off as this, or you come off as that. No, I don't come off that way. That's the way you're perceiving me, or that's the way you want to perceive me, because me and you don't have a relationship, but it's something about me that you feel like you should have access to, but because I don't really have a relationship with you, like you be in high school and like it's so many people in the school that like you don't talk to everybody, but you just mind your business, la la la. You're not in a whole bunch of people face and you walk the halls, however, and they feel like you stuck up, however, boom. Okay, that was never the case. So with this being said, now I have shared before that like when it came to high school, I was the person that would I could go to like 10 tables, right? I could go to like 10 tables, sit there and don't be a problem. Some people, they feel like, oh, they need to be a part of the popular clique. They need to be a part of the popular clan and just sit at that one table. And then if, let's say your friends at the popular table want to have a bad day with you and they kick you out the popular table, then you gonna start feeling all weird and funny and stuff. Because honestly, I think that's what happened to this one girl, and then she tried to tie herself to me, and then she went back to them trying to talk ish and make this whole thing ordeal happen, but ain't nothing really happened. Somebody wrote on my binder that was a bitch, whatever. My teacher gave me a brand new binder. Thank you. Like y'all not doing nothing. Like y'all not really doing nothing with that. But okay. Anyways, when you this is what I'm trying to say. When you seclude yourself to just being the popular one, when you seclude yourself to just a certain group, when you niche yourself so bad, like y'all, like it's so funny because people, when you get into branding or when you get into marketing, people don't understand what a niche is, right? Okay, but if I say, okay, let's go back to your high school days, or let's say you are in high school. What niche were you in? Like, what clique were you in? Were you in a clique? Were you a clique-ish person? If you were a clique-ish person, you were in a niche, right? But I was never in a niche in high school. I was never in a niche in college, neither. Right? I was never in a niche. Like, I am a free floater. And some people, they don't like people who are free floaters because they feel like you gotta uh what's the word? Suction yourself to one group, right? Like you know how people say this crabs in a barrel mentality, where it's like you can't crawl out the bucket. You got to stay in the bucket in one box, have this one sector, and you got to stay there because this your clan, and you got to stay with the clan. You cannot go outside of the clan. You go outside of the clan, then we is not going to what's that called? We gonna disown you basically. Like, oh, we don't claim you no more since you went out the bucket. And that's how some of our family members are. Like they feel like, oh, you being stuck up, oh, you think you all that. Da, 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 da. No, it's called we live in this world and it's called life, and I'm expanding my horizons beyond what I know. If this is already familiar to me, I want to be explorative enough to see what's outside of this right here. Why does that make me deemed as stuck up? If anything, that makes you stuck up. You're stuck up a hole somewhere that you can't get out of because I'm out here outside of the hole, right? You being a groundhog while I'm out here trying to be a bird. You feel that don't make me stuck up. Sorry. So anywho, what I'm saying is the folk that's in a popular group that you think is so popular, and you was in that popular group just listening to what other people were saying about other people who aren't popular and thought it was okay to go around bully people or say little things to those people. Let me tell you something. I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but let me tell you something. The folks who are outside of popularity are the best people to be around. The people who are outside of popularity are the best people to be around. Why? Because one, they're going to introduce new perspective to you. They're going to introduce new ways of thinking. They're going to introduce new ways of seeing, and they're going to introduce growth to you. Okay? And some of your family members, they're not going to like it because they have not had the ability. Either they did not give themselves permission. That's why we talk about the art of showing up. You have to give yourself permission in order to be a brand if you're going to do personal branding, right? You have to give yourself permission to put yourself out there, to create things on your own, right? Or to stand on your own in a season, and then you're going to find your collective later because you have aligned by design. Hello? You have gotten to God's true alignment for you and not what the people say you ought to be. Because if you conform yourself to the ways of this world, how are you ever going to get to your destiny? How are you ever going to get to what God has ordained for you? You feel what I'm saying? So if you so stuck on what your friends say, what they listening to, you in this clique or you in this gang or you in an environment that's super niched to where you can't free yourself outside of that, that's how you're going to keep yourself small. You're allowing other people to keep you small. When people say you're conceited, you think you're all that, you're allowing people to define you and define your life. And I do not allow that. I do not allow people to define my life and define who I am. There's going to be people in your comment section. You do a personal brand here on YouTube, TikTok, however, there's going to be people that see you and want to make automatic judgments about you because they have judgments of their own about themselves. It does not reflect who you are. And that's why I come here on my channel and I talk about perception, presence, authority, branding, knowing your value, knowing your message and what you want to convey through your YouTube, through your e-commerce. This, I love to talk about this, right? And I said once before that I got this message. I got this message when I was 7 years old. I don't know. It's just something about messages. I love true messaging, right? Like true soul driven messaging. I got a message when I was 7 years old. There's this after school program, right? I used to go to when I was little. Like my mom, she kept me in after school program, after school, all different kinds. Okay. I will not forget when I was 7 years old, we was in the gym. Okay, at this after school program, we was in the gym. We was all sitting on the ground, and this man came in. I don't know who the man was. Okay, 7 years old. This man came in, and he spoke to the kids, and he said, "When you walk across this earth, you are that somebody. You just gotta know who you're going to be. You just gotta pinpoint where you're going to go." And that's why I created the Find Your Why guidebook, the guidebook that's gonna ask you, do you want a legacy, or are you just making money to make money right now? Like, it's one thing to have a job and to make money to keep your bills up, but like, how are you going to do it for longevity term? How is your branding or your YouTube channel, your TikTok going to be your starting point for your bigger growth journey? Like, YouTube is one aspect, but like, how do you want to utilize YouTube? You can utilize YouTube in like, I want to say you can utilize YouTube in like 3 different ways. 3 different ways. Like, you don't even have to be a YouTuber. Like, this the whole thing. It's so funny because when I started YouTube as a hobby. Then I got to a point where I was like, wait, maybe I do want to be like a YouTuber. But then I started growing out of that phase. I'm like, you know what? I actually don't want to be a YouTuber, but I still want to utilize YouTube. I still feel called to speak on to YouTube. So, okay, here we go. I'm about to use YouTube, but I'm about to use it in a way that's not necessarily showcasing me as like a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm utilizing YouTube, but I'm not trying to showcase myself or position myself as a YouTuber. It's kind of like how Tony Gaskins say. Like, Tony Gaskins, he forever say that like he's not a YouTuber, he's not a YouTuber. He's like, I'm a businessman. Like, I run this. Da, da, da. He got, man, I'm telling you. And I've been so inspired. Not even funny. Like, it's almost like when what year did I run into Tony Gaskins? I think I ran into Tony Gaskins. Ooh. I think I first ran into Tony Gaskins 2015. 2015. I think that's when I first discovered Tony Gaskins. And it's almost like I still watch Tony Gaskins. I just don't watch him as heavy, and then he doesn't upload as much. But it's almost like when I ran into Tony Gaskins, it almost gave me like, I don't want to cry. I feel like I'm about to cry. I just felt like an emotional moment. I almost feel like when I ran into Tony Gaskins, it almost was like a propeller. And it's so funny because Tony Gaskins is supposed to be like a relationship slash life coach, I would say. But I was watching him for his relationship videos, and he started to talk about business stuff, but I didn't really learn any business stuff besides the part where he said make something of your own. But it's almost like Tony Gaskins, RC Blake's, it just get like Transformation Church. Then I started watching Redefine TV, and it was almost like it was a journey of like business and spirituality all in the same token. And then now I just found this dude this morning, and I'm like, oh my God, this is an actual freaking thing. And then I started going back to like what I was doing on YouTube, because I've been on YouTube since 2011. Okay. So I started going back in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. So what I was doing all this time was not a waste. I just didn't know the positioning of it. Like, sometimes we have talents and we know we're good at things, but like we don't know what to do with them, or we don't know how it can help us leverage to where we want to go. And so now I'm like, okay, I found Tony Gaskins, I found this person, and then I found this person this morning. I'm like, freaking mind boggled. I'm like, what? And then I started learning that there's this such thing as a trademark lawyer. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. And then I started learning that there's this such thing called a notary. And I'm like, what? Girl. It's so crazy because like they transition you from high school to college. Like, oh, what you want to do? Da, da, da. I look, so I thought I wanted, okay, so this is how I was thinking. So high school, boop. I went straight to college. As soon as I got out of high school, I went straight to college. I went to how you say? I went to a 4-year college. I did. But did I do 4 years? No, I didn't. I went to a 4-year college for my first year. And then I was homesick. Yeah, I was homesick. I was homesick. It was a culture shock. I went to a predominantly white school. Yes, it did have black people, but the black people was hidden somewhere. Yes, you could find them, but it wasn't too many on campus. That's what I'm gonna just say. Like, you saw them, but it's almost like they had a hideout somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it was a major culture shock for me when I transitioned from high school to college, or however. Okay, so you transition from high school to college and they have you like pick something. So at first, I thought I wanted to be a therapist. That's what I thought I wanted to be. I'm so glad. Oh, God. Lord. I'm so glad I did not go the therapist route. I thought I wanted to be a therapist. So I ended up taking psychology classes when I first got to that university. So what happened was, so the first year I went to I can't talk. The first year I went to a 4-year college, but I got homesick and culture shock. And so then I ended up coming home and I went to our I don't want to say it's a community college. It is a community college, but the real term is a technical college. There you go. There you go. Everybody know it as the technical college, which therefore is kind of like the community college where we're from. And I'm like, because I just didn't want to run into the same people in my high school. So it gave me some time with that first year going to an actual 4-year university, got the dorm experience and everything like that, which I love. I do not regret doing that. I love to dip my toes in things. You know what I'm saying? Like how I got the 4-year university experience the first year, and then I came home and did the technical college, and then I did marketing. Actually, I did marketing, and then right after marketing I went into a trade, and my trade was nails. So I'm an ex nail tech. Boom. So with that being said, so I didn't do the whole nails thing. Am I glad I didn't do the whole nails thing? I don't know. Like, I don't regret doing it though. I still got I don't regret doing it. I like that I'm more knowledgeable about the nails because when women go to nail shops, I'm going all over the place, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I just talk about business and branding and leveling up and things of that nature. But what I'm trying to say is, you think that the things that you do in life are in vain, but it's really leading you up to your purpose. And even with the grief and the hiccups and the obstacles and the hurdles that you have, because y'all know I had lost 2 family members. And it's about to be 3 years, about to come up 3 years from losing these 2 family members. And so I'm just like, oh my God. But like, when your world gets shooken up like that, like, that's when it's almost like when your world gets shooken up, I feel like that's when your purpose comes. That's what I feel. That's what I ultimately feel, because the dude that I woke up to this morning talking about the trust and the holding company and how to get funding for your business. I'm like, oh my God, because it's so crazy, y'all. Because I literally went to try to get me a business loan, but it's just like the folks was not calling me back. I set up an appointment, they was not calling me back. Lo and behold, I'm like, what's going on? And I sent them a message too, like, da, da, da. Nobody got back to me. So then all of a sudden I woke up this morning and then I get this dude on TikTok and he talking about how you can get your business funded, this and that, and how he got all these little companies and how he set up all his entities and how you don't need an LLC, you need this instead of an LLC. And I was like, wait, what? But y'all call folks who don't party, who don't do trends, okay, lames, because they not doing what's popular, because they not talking about love and hip hop. Because they not over here talking about Cardi B and what Nicki Minaj recently said was so and so. What they gonna do? What's that gonna do for me? What is talk about Nicki Minaj and SZA gonna do for me? Nothing. What is talk about Scrappy and his new girl? What they gonna do for me? Yes, I see the clips, but I literally said love and hip hop is still on. It's still on. Now, let me tell you something. You want to know what my show is? I got 2 reality TV shows I like. Well, no, I take the back. I like 3. but I like 4. But I don't know if they doing the other one anymore. I got 4 reality TV shows I like to watch. Okay? Otherwise, I haven't even watched TV. I haven't watched TV in forever. The only time I watch TV is if I'm on this Pluto. And I haven't been watching Pluto in like a month. Like, I don't watch TV at all. All I watch, let me tell you something. All I watch is YouTube and TikTok. That's all I watch. That's all I watch. All I watch is YouTube and TikTok. Make my own YouTube videos. Got my own entities going on in the background. Trade market things. And the third. Do you hear me? I done lost 2 significant family members. You hear me? And life got to get older. Okay, I don't got time to watch TV. I don't have time to sit up here and say what's trending. No, it's not what's trending. It's what do the people need. Okay, and that's you want to make money. You want to make money. What do people need? What are people fiending for? You got so many people on this dang dog TikTok app that tell you each and every day what they fiending for, how bad they have it, and how you could possibly make a business, make a nonprofit organization, however, make it for profit, okay? And you gonna get paid. Why? Because you are using the gifts that God has given you and you are serving his people. Why wouldn't you get rewarded for that? You're not gonna get rewarded for being popular. It's fake, it's falsity, it's a freaking illusion. That's it. I remember one time in high school, it was this dude, right? I was walking down the stairs and I almost tripped, right? I was walking downstairs with some heels on in high school. Some little baby booty heels, right? You know those booty boots with the little heel on it, whatever. I was walking with, but them things was slippery on them damn stairs, okay? So anyway, so this dude was watching me walk down the stairs, right? And he was like, he was like, I saw that you almost slid. And I said, no, you didn't. I said, it was an illusion. That's literally what I told them. So I said, no, you didn't. It was an illusion. Popularity is an illusion. Somebody being attractive is an illusion. It's to hypnotize you. Okay. People with statuses, it's to hypnotize you. It's to distract you. Okay. you gotta see what kind of character, what kind of words, and what kind of language, what kind of speak, what kind of representation somebody comes from. Not what they look like, what do they come from, and what do they stand on? What is their current principles? That's what I like to talk about here on this channel. Okay, we talk about mindset and branding and positioning our power so that thus we can make money outside of our 9 to 5. That's what I like to talk about. Okay, I don't like to talk about bandwagoning ish. Okay, so my little four favorite reality TV shows. I love the mess out of Loving Marriage Huntsville, and it's so funny because today is supposed to be the first episode. I can't watch it until they post it on YouTube. See, that's the thing. I don't even watch TV. If they post it on YouTube, I will see it. Love Marriage Huntsville, I eat it down. I'll make sure I watch every episode. I'll try to. Love and Marriage Huntsville. I love that. Not loving hip hop. Love and Marriage Huntsville. You hear me? Now, my second one, I like the Jersey Shore. I don't know. I really like the Jersey Shore for some reason. I don't know. You know what show I wish they would bring back though? Is Jerseylicious. Oh my God, I missed that show so bad. It was like a hairstyling show with like all these hairdressers, reality TV, and how they did. I don't know. I loved it. I love that show. But anyhow, then I like the not Teen Mom. I don't like Teen Mom. I like wait, is it Teen? No, it's not Teen Mom. It's like one of these spinoffs of Teen Mom. What is it called? Young and Pregnant. I like that Young and Pregnant show where Brianna was on there. I think Ashley was on Young and Pregnant before they did like the Teen Mom. I don't like Teen Mom. Teen Mom is boring, but I like the thing where they show the baby growth, development, and how their mind is as a teen, having this young child, and then how their parents are adjusting and how they're adjusting in their house. I don't know. It's almost like I like seeing development. That's what I'm starting to notice about myself. That I like seeing growth. I like seeing development and I like seeing improvement. I just like right now, like on TikTok, I watch home improvement videos. How are you improving your house? Okay, like how would you fixing up this? How you fixing up that? Like that's just where I'm at right now. How you fixing up that house? Oh, how you put that fence up? Oh, for real? Oh, I'm in Home Depot having a ball yesterday. For real. I was in Home Depot having a ball yesterday. I'm like, oh, but that. I'm having a ball. Okay, but let's just get back on to the topic. Now, look, I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to give y'all a quick story time. How you shouldn't be so focused on popularity and pinpointing out who lame and who don't go to parties, who don't smoke, who don't drink, who don't hookah, and all this dumb stuff that y'all care about. Okay, but I know this girl personally. We went to high school together, and we went to elementary together. Not like together, but we end up going to the same schools. Wait, did she end up going to that school? I think she did go to that school, but she ended up leaving. I think so. Okay, right. Because that's what some people do. Some people, they come in like, I left my last year of high school, and I changed my high school the last year. Great. That was the greatest thing I could do, because guess what? I got done with high school earlier than everybody else. But I still have to graduate when everybody graduated. So I was done. I was already out of high school while all the folk was in high school. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just gotta venture off from what everybody else is doing. I literally had, I think, I can't think that far back, but I could have sworn I had like 6 months. 6 months I was not in school because I got all of my credits. I did everything by transferring to a school that everybody said do not go to. And I didn't have to go to school because I finished everything early, 6 months early, and I just waited for graduation. And I graduated. 6 months. I think it was 6 months. It was probably like 6 to 4 months. And I was at home chilling while everybody else was at school. But I wasn't necessarily chilling though. Because I was doing I wasn't necessarily chilling, but that's when I started transitioning over to doing YouTube. Believe it or not, because I started YouTube in 2011, right? That's how I started transitioning to YouTube. Because in my downtime, like I said, I'm a class of 2013. But that's how I started transitioning, because when I didn't have nothing to do, that's when I would get on my dad's laptop and just this was sporadic though. Sporadically get on YouTube and start doing singing videos, as y'all see. Singing. Sultry. So sometimes you just got to step outside of that box. Sometimes you are going to outgrow people. You are going to outgrow that bucket. You are going to outgrow that city. You are going to outgrow your 9 to 5. It's okay. It's okay to step out on your 9 to 5 and go find a new venture. It's totally okay. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. A lot of y'all be saying, "Oh, well, you need another job in the background if you go boo." I didn't do that. I didn't do that. A lot of y'all believe that, but this is the thing. I don't have children. Okay? A lot of y'all believe that if you want to quit your job or blah, 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 you got to have something else lined up in the background. Yes, that's the adult thing to do, right? Especially if you got kids. And you got daycare and you got more bills than I did. Yeah, you better be better off doing that. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have no backup. I didn't have no backups. The times that I might have had to quit a job, I didn't have a backup. I'm just gonna be real with you. So sometimes you want to know what makes life worthwhile? Life is worthwhile when you take risks. Make sure you research them first. Research them hoes. Okay? Research them hoes first though. and then take your risks. Okay? Step out on faith. Alright? Alright. So with that being said, stop thinking everybody a dang dog lame because, let me go back to what I'm saying. Stop thinking everybody a dang dog lame because that girl that I went to school with, they used to tease and pick the mess out that girl. Tease and pick the mess out that girl. I was the only one, me and probably one more other person. I was the only one who was nice to that girl, while everybody else was laughing, teasing, and picking on that girl. Do you know? I think it was sometime last year or the beginning of this year. Do you know that girl sent me a message and told me that she is? Listen, do you know that girl sent me a message, tagged me on Facebook, and told me that she is a commercial real estate agent? And I talk about branding and marketing. Like, can you even fathom? Now, if I was me and you know a total biatch to that girl, do you think she would have messaged me and told me that she was a commercial real estate agent and she was like, "Oh, I got this new listing." So anytime if I want some commercial real estate, I bet you I can go to her. I bet you I could go to her Because I was the only one who was nice to that girl while everybody else was picking on her. That's why you don't treat people like crap. And you start nitpicking all these little things about people. Because you never know who that person is and who they gonna turn out to be. That is so ironic. And it's so funny because my dad taught me that when I was young. Oh, I dang near feel like finna cry. My dad taught me that my dad even still says that to this day. He said, now my dad, he believe in don't burn in bridges. That's what he believe in. But he said, you got to learn to be respectful to everybody, even if you don't like them. Woo! Don't have me crying, y'all. Don't have me crying up in here. That's what he said. Even if you don't like somebody, you have to still be respectful to them. You never know that lame person, that person you ridiculing and saying all this crap about. You never know if you're going to need them. And my dad always said this too when I was coming up. He said, you be careful what come out your mouth. Because he said, I'm telling you, he taught me this early. He taught me this early. If anything, man, it's some things my dad did not teach me, and there's some things my dad taught me that I'm so grateful for. You feel what I'm saying? My dad, he taught me when I was coming up. He said, now, be careful what you spew out your mouth and what you tell other people. Because he said, you never know who that person is related to. You could be talking ish about somebody and that person is cousins with that person. That person is friends with that person. You don't know who connected to who. So you don't go around talking ish about people. You don't go around just spewing things and words about people because you never know who they tied to. That's the number one lesson my dad has that's the number one thing that he has taught me. So I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that clique stuff. I don't believe in that bandwagon stuff. I don't believe in, gotta have a crew around me everywhere I go type thing. I don't believe in that. But, you want to call it stuck up. No, it's because I was taught certain things that you probably did not take. You didn't get that word. And because certain people get a certain word, they feel like, you think you are that. No, technically, at the time, I was the only child. Me and my sibling are 10 years apart. So, me and my sibling are 10 years apart. So, technically, it's giving only child. You feel what I'm saying? It's still giving only child. So, if I gotta walk these hallways alone, I gotta walk them alone. If I gotta go to work alone and I gotta go to sleep alone, I'm gonna go alone. What do you think entrepreneurship is? You're gonna start your own business. You start it alone, but it's you giving yourself permission to do it. But in order to give yourself permission, you gotta have the confidence that matches. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% confident. I'm just a risk taker. I like to explore. And that's just me. And all I know how to do is be me. You feel what I'm saying? And so, thus, I share Align by Design. Show up, find your voice, get paid for who you truly are. Because that stuck upness is what's helping me do this right now. That's the message for today. I'm a digital design coach for YouTube and e-commerce platforms. And right now I am taking clients. The first tool is free. You got to find out who your audience is, what product, service, or YouTube channel you want to do. What is the message you want to convey? Who are these people? Why do they need you? What are they struggling with? And how are you going to bring forth the solution? That is the first free tool. And then next, it is the Find your why guidebook. Why are you doing this? Okay. Why are you doing this? Then the third step is the YouTube design critique. We're going to lay out your YouTube channel so you know the journey. So you're not just making a channel and then 2 months later, a year later, 3 years later, you ain't doing nothing with the channel. That's not what we want, right? Okay? Unless you using YouTube like how I'm using it. All right? And then we have the YouTube, sorry, not YouTube. Then we have the I'm trying to think. We got the e-commerce builder workshop for those of you who need to make your own website. And I'm gonna tell you something. So you do need a website. You need a freaking website. You don't need a beacon. You don't need a stand store. You need a freaking website. You don't need a link page. If you just trying to make some quick, get some money right now type of thing, yes, make a beacon, make a link page, da da da. But you ultimately need a website. Let me tell you why you need the website. I'm gonna tell you why you need a website. First of all, let me tell you something. I learned how to do web design when I was 12. When I was 12 years old. That's when I learned how to do web design. Okay? And I designed my website I got now, and I designed the other website that I got for my other entity. You feel what I'm saying? I designed it all. And my marketing is on point. My marketing is on point. Not my marketing. Take that back. My branding is on point. Because I be mixing marketing and branding together. I be mixing the two. Marketing is how you're going to communicate your services. Branding is how you visually communicate it. Okay, that's two different things. I be mixing them together. My branding is on point. Okay. There is no comparison. No. Let me stop. Anyway, that man that I told y'all I had ran into earlier today on TikTok, and he was talking about the holding company, the trust, not no LLC, but a corporation. He said in order for him to get his business funding, you had to, I'm not gonna say what it is because that's for him to teach, but you needed a website. You need a website in order to look legitimate to people. I'm going to tell you another reason why you need a website. You need a website because it's easy access to any and everybody to find you, not messaging through DMs. And like he said, I don't believe in messaging through DMs. I don't either. That's tacky. It makes me feel all over the place if I message somebody through a DM. So, anywho, with that being said, I'm a digital design coach. You need a website. I got the e-commerce builder workshop for those of you who need to make your website. And you need a website to get your funding. Okay? The funding, the way he said it. All right? You need a website, period. I see y'all next one. It's your girl, Sultry Accessory.